Hello, my name's Helen and welcome to my channel. Welcome to my studio space. Today I'm talking all things pasta machines. I've recently been doing a fair bit of printing. I wanted to explore printing with a pasta machine. So let's chat pasta machines and printing. So I wanted to have a play with a pasta machine. I thought that would be a good entry-level press to play around with some home printing. And so I didn't have a pasta machine, so I had to go looking for one. So I found one very cheaply on Facebook Marketplace. And this is what I ended up with. So just a standard pasta machine. They are quite heavy, but the heavy bit's in the box still, the rest of it's out. So basically, you know, it's a standalone, stands on the work surface. You run your pasta dough through and wind the handle. This bit here is a clip-on bit. I will show you this, and you don't need it. So, it's actually really heavy. So there's a big chunk of it that you don't actually need, and that's the bit that cuts all your pasta shapes, your tagliatelle and whatever. So I had a play with it as is, and very quickly, I'll put that out the way, very quickly I found, yes, it works, but I was getting slippage of my prints. So when you're feeding the pasta machine, you're feeding it vertically, and then because it's only a little way off the work surface, you know, the paper has to curl to come out the other side. And yeah, I found all of that very, very difficult to hold everything all in place, to wind the handle and everything else. So I got very frustrated with it very quickly. So I thought, right, okay, how can I convert this? So I have converted my pasta machine into a flatbed press. And let's put it there. And this is what I have ended up with. I have to have it quite close to the edge of the table so I can turn the handle. I made a frame for it, and I've mounted it so the paper goes in horizontally rather than vertically. So that's how, without the piece of wood, that's how it would sit on the table. I'll take it all to pieces and show you what I've done. And yeah, I did it. You know, I didn't get any help with this, so it's something that you can do on your own. Let's take the handle out. So let's have a look. So this is the clamp that would normally clamp your machine to the table. I've taken the handle out, and yeah, that's the machine. So the machine would normally sit on the work surface. You would clamp it to your work surface, fit your cutting bits if you wanted to cut, and this is the dial that adjusts the rollers. So the rollers, we'll put the handle in, the rollers roll there, and you can adjust how far the rollers are apart, so you can adjust the depth that you're rolling. I decided that I wanted to make mine a flatbed press, so that meant I had to rotate the press round. I took off the bit that I've shown you in the box, but that kind of when you sit something down, when you sit it down flat on the surface, these bits here, which are little slidey grooves, they're quite sharp. So I very quickly realised that I couldn't just put it straight on the surface, or even did I want to gouge my cutting mat with it. So I needed to make a frame. So I constructed just a simple L-shape frame. It is very Heath Robinson. It's not pretty, but it is sturdy. So I've got two pieces of wood, I've got a base plate, and then I've got a piece of MDF at the end here, which I've screwed on. You can see I've got some screws sticking out here. You could, easily use bolts, but I decided not to use bolts. So basically I had to take the base plate off of the machine. So I've taken the base plate off and I'm using the holes where the base plate was attached to just support the machine in place. So those are just slotting in like that. I can't tighten them up because I can't get in here to fix that on. So it just is a slide on. So I'm just literally sliding it on there. And although the screws have got a sharp point to them, they're well and truly inside here. You can't access them. You're not gonna hurt yourself. That is then that's ensuring that this sharp bit is now, you can see it's grooved the base plate there, but it's not grooving my tabletop surface. So I was quite happy with that. And then I am just literally attaching the machine with the original screw G-clamp to the plate. Quickly realised that this wasn't thick enough, so I've had to make another piece of wood just to support that. So that all gets clamped together. Let's put it, okay. That all gets clamped together so I can fix it really nice and tight. So that machine is not coming off of there at all. It's not coming off that well. It moves that way, but it's, you know, it's pretty sturdy now. I can move it around. So that means that I can now run a plate through. So I have, at the moment, I'm using a piece of mount board, mat board for those in the States. So just a piece of card, and I haven't got any printing mat, but in my stash I found some wadding. I think batting is the American term for it. So wadding in this country. So when you're doing a quilt, it's the stuff that goes in between to make the squashy layers. And so I've cut a piece of that. That is basically what sits on my bed, and then I can feed my prints through, put them in here. This is my base plate. So I'm working flat, I'm working horizontally, so I'm not trying to put the plates through vertically, and it's just reduced the slippage for me, which has worked. You have to play around with your settings and work out how big your sandwich needs to be, how thick your sandwich needs to be, and what settings you need to have your press on. I've actually got it on just on number 1. You do have to remember that the machine was designed to stand this way, so this is your number showing here. So it won't be at the top when you're looking at it. If you do convert it, your number will be on the side. I haven't really played around with the setting here. If I've needed extra thickness, I've basically put another piece of paper in rather than, you know, play around with you know, changing that setting and altering the space between the rollers. Yeah, so that's working for me at the moment. It's cost me £15 and a little bit of playing around in the garage to get it onto a frame. It is small. I can just easily pick it up, pop it underneath my table. It works. It produces, I can do relief prints and intaglio printing through it. The downsides for me, for a press, is that I've very quickly become a little bit frustrated with the limitation on size. So you are restricted to however wide your pasta machine is. Mine's 14 centimetres. So your print paper can't be any wider than 14 centimetres. But of course, now you've got it flat and you're not having to curl the paper out of it, you can have a print that is as long as you like, basically, but it won't be any any wider than 14 centimeters. So you can have you can create a long skinny print if you want to. So, you know, there's pluses and minuses there, but yeah, I'm a little bit frustrated with that limitation. You know, I kind of want to work a bit bigger. So I've got my sights on other things at the moment as well. But it's, like I've said, it's a good entry-level start. You know, if you've got one sat in the back of the cupboard that you don't use for pasta, why not have a go? You know, see whether you like it. And then if you get on okay with it, then think about, okay, do you want to take the base plate off and flip it on its side and make it a little bit more permanent thing? So yeah, if you want a fun entry-level way into printing, you know, maybe your pasta machine is the way to go. So yeah, I just thought I'd show you this and what I've done. The other thing I have found, so although I can do relief prints through it, I can't get a lino through it, and I can't do. It's struggled with collagraphs which are using anything thicker than a mount board, a mat board, as the printing plate. So it works very well with Tetra Paks and that sort of thickness, but anything thicker, it's you know, it's not designed for the job. So anything thicker, it's just not working. But yeah, good entry level, good fun, and if you've got one sitting in the cupboard, it's free. So I hope that's been useful and given you food for thought. If you've got one sat in the back of the cupboard, why not bring it out, have a go, see how you get on. And if you're at all practical, it's very easy to convert into a flatbed press, which is a little bit easier to use. Yeah, it's just a fun little bit of kit now to kick my toe on underneath the table. No, until so it's a fun little bit of kit that you know, it's good to use until I get something bigger and better. And then even then, you know, I may, even if I did get a bigger, you know, the die cut, one of the die cut presses, you know, this is very small. It's very, very portable. You know, I don't think I would get rid of it. So, you know, if I wanted to just do a little print, this might be the way to go rather than getting a big press out. Obviously, there are the mini die cut presses, and if you've got one of those, then you know, you're laughing. You know, you've already got that set up. I wasn't a scrapbooky crafter. I'm not a scrapbooky crafter. Yeah, if you've got them, then great. You know, you're on a winner. So there you go. I hope that helps. Have a go. If you've got one, have a go. See how you get on. So thank you, as always, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye for now.